it's hard to know who's telling the truth.
It is.
Like if you pay attention to this big, beautiful bill that just got passed, I've been trying to sort out what's real and what's not. You know, and the real fear that people have is Medicaid, right? The real fear is that people are going to lose access to health care. And it's so, but then there was this just giant arrest where they found billions of dollars of fraud, and hundreds of people were arrested. Doctors, healthcare providers. You know about all that, right, Jamie? You saw that big arrest? It's, you know, so
I
it's
saw
like
something, but I just don't know enough.
Yeah, I don't know enough either. So they're
Yeah.
trying to eliminate fraud as a part of this.
Right.
But the consequences of that is like, well, okay, but is this going to affect poor people? Is this going to affect legitimate poor people that just need help?
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's the most important thing. National healthcare fraud takedown results in 324 defendants charged in connection with over 14.6 billion in fraud.
Wow.
Largest Justice Department healthcare fraud takedown in history, more than doubles prior record of $6 billion. Wow.
Yeah, that's a government website, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, I just
Right.
I just don't know, and I don't know enough, and I know that there's probably more to the story than we're seeing.
Oh yeah, for sure, right?
And
Always.
so, you know, that's kind of how like controlled opposition works. You just sort of,
Says Medicare, Medicaid services also announced it successfully prevented over $4 billion from being paid in response to false and fraudulent claims, and that it suspended or revoked the billing privilege of 205 providers in the month leading up to the takedown, civil charges against 20 defendants for $14.2 million in alleged fraud, as well as civil settlements with over 106 defendants, totaling in $34.3 million. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to do some research.
Or not.
Well, that's the thing. I'm a musician, man. You know.
Right. Oh, this is the thing. Like, I don't want to waste my day going through all that, freaking out about
I do think it's important to know, but at the same time, what I do know is that there's a lot of marginalized communities, whether it's a class issue or it's I just see that there's a lot of people who don't have a lot of money who are suffering, and
for sure,
and there's a lot of people getting caught in crossfire all over the world, and it's a humanitarian issue, and I think, and so, I, as a musician, I have a responsibility to observe. I think as an artist, I have a responsibility to observe.
As a human.
As a human.
Yeah, I think we all have a responsibility to observe.
And I also don't like to keep my opinion resolute. I don't like to identify with my opinion, meaning like I'm not joining any teams here,
Great.
I don't have any teams. I want to know what based on, if I get conflicting information, I have to make a decision on which one's going to sway the decisions I make going forward. It's tough. It's not easy. In this world, it's really not easy. But back in the day, interestingly, I think they had more of an ability to manipulate us back in the day because we only had one or two sources of information.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Well, listen, as confusing and as frustrating as social media is, and as dangerous as it is for your psyche, it's better. It's better to have it than to not have it, because you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to go on it. And that's what I always tell people, stay off it. But it's there for you if you need, like when shit pops off in the world, it's the best source of information. I Google things all the time and they're not there. And then I'll go to X and they're there immediately. When something happens in the world, it's on X before it's on anywhere else.
Well, there's a lot of platforms, I'm sure, that Google is, owned.
But the thing is, X is immediate, right? It's people that are on the ground and people that are and independent journalists use it more often than anything else.
That's interesting.
And Substack.
Yeah, I think that, I think the only thing that I think I worry about with that is that the pendulum swings so far in either direction in response to certain things.
Sure.
In response to perceived censorship in one way, then it becomes, instead of it being completely a platform of opinions, then censorship happens on that side with dissenting opinions. And so I think that the censorship just continues to be like, okay, well, it just goes back and forth. And so I have a hard time. I have a hard time understanding, and that's why I don't really feel like I have an ability to form a proper opinion on a lot of this shit.
Well, that's an intelligent perspective, because
Yeah.
the reality is so many people that have really strong opinions aren't informed.
Well, that's the thing, and I see people that die on certain hills, and then
Yeah.
but with no ability to formulate. Like that's why I'm a musician.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do here, because all I do is, I err on the side of compassion, and I think I'm compassionate for people who are suffering. I have compassion for suffering. I believe that. I believe that empathy can be manipulated, but I don't believe that I think it's a necessary emotion
Yes.
for cooperation and human condition.
That's a great way to put it.
You know,
Because empathy can be
it
manipulated.
can be manipulated through psychological warfare, but I also believe that it's never a good idea to then
Shut it off.
shut it off.
100%. Well said.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good
and
perspective.
I will say this: like, I think throughout history, there have been examples where people have put their faith in policy over character,
Yeah.
and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I think the character of the person implementing the policy is just as important as the policy they represent.
Yeah, well, and today nothing gets implemented. No, there's no policy that gets drafted or implemented without a lot of weird influence.
Oh,
And
yeah.
influence from money. It's always money.
And I have no idea the depth of that.